Hello and welcome from the 2024 Beijing Auto Show. In this video, we're going to show you the most exciting debuts from global brands. That's international brands that you've probably heard of. Now, originally I wanted to start this video by talking about the debut from the VW JAC, or VW Anhui joint venture. That's a joint venture between VW and one of their local Chinese partners. The result was the ID Unix, but as you can see, well, actually, you can't see. It's in a box. So instead, let's start with a different car, shall we? Welcome to Wheels Boy, where we cover the newest, coolest, and wildest vehicles from the Chinese car market. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Let's check out what is undoubtedly one of the coolest concept cars at the entire Beijing Auto Show, the MG EXE181, a car so low that I have to get down on my knees here in order to be able to get it into the frame. This thing has a quad motor EV powertrain that can get it to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 1.9 seconds, according to MG. Thanks to its incredibly sleek shape, it also has a drag coefficient of just 0.181. The name EXE181 is inspired by the EX181 from 1959, a similarly sleek Lotus that was able to achieve 410 kilometers per hour or 255 miles per hour, again, in 1959. It was powered by a 1.5-liter supercharged four-cylinder. We don't know whether they're going to go for another land speed record, but at least we know what their benchmark will be. It's no secret that international brands have struggled to create competitive EV and hybrid products here in the Chinese market, and so these days they're turning to their local Chinese joint venture partners. In this case, Mazda is joining up with Changan and using their Deepal SL03 sedan platform to create this, the Mazda EZ-6 sedan. What you see behind me are two examples. Just like the SL03, this is going to come in a pure EV and an extended EV powertrain. You can tell the difference because this one is the EV version with a completely closed off front grille, whereas the one over there has an open grille, obviously to allow air to go to the 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder, if I recall correctly. This car's roots in the SL03 are very apparent, not just in the powertrains, the 1.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder, by the way, not a turbo, but also the exterior design. The overall shape of the vehicle is very, very reminiscent of the SL03, including the profile here on the front end with the shape of the nose and even on the tail. Behind me is the all-new Audi Q6l e-tron, a China market exclusive electric SUV from the joint venture between FAW and Audi. This thing, instead of being like the Audi Q5 e-tron that rides on the ID.6 platform, the ID platform, this rides in the premium platform electric architecture that underpins brands like Porsche. FAW Audi says that this Q6L has been adjusted specifically for the Chinese market. The first big hint is the fact that it has an extended wheelbase. You can notice that in the length of the rear doors back there. This thing's styling is very reminiscent of that of the Q6, which is an internal combustion engine vehicle that's only available here in China. For Chinese consumers that value performance over space, they can choose the SQ6 e-tron, which is going to have much more power than the standard Q6L e-tron. I'm told around 517 horsepower. Here at Beijing, we were also able to check out the all-new Mini Aceman, which will fit between the Mini Cooper and the Mini Countryman in the Mini lineup. Mini refers to this as a small SUV, and I guess if putting body cladding on a little hatchback makes it an SUV, then this is indeed an SUV. It measures just over 4 meters in length and will come with two different EV powertrains, both of which are front-mounted single motors, but one offers 135 kilowatts and the other offers 160. That's around 180 or 215 horsepower. We don't know anything about this car's battery capacity or range at this point, but we have been able to step inside and check out the production interior. It's remarkably similar to that of the other Mini electric vehicles. It includes a ton of really, really cool design elements. I think Mini's been hitting it out of the park when it comes to their interior design as of late. Check out this awesome cloth up here on the dashboard, as well as the digital center screen here in that classic Mini circular shape. I also quite like this kind of traditional, I don't know how to put it, a heads-up display where instead of reflecting it onto the glass of the front windshield, it reflects onto this small piece right here. Overall, the interior, very, very nice. This is the Buick GL8, the MPV slash minivan that you maybe didn't even know Buick makes. This is a China market only vehicle, but that's honestly not what's most interesting about this thing, because this has been on sale for quite some time. What's interesting is these four letters right here, PHEV, that's plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. This is one of the very first plug-in hybrid vehicles from General Motors, and it's super important to the GL8 line. GL8 has been a very big competitor in the large MPV segment here in China for many years, but it's now facing a ton of very stiff competition from brands like Denza with the D9, as well as Zeekr 009 and the Xpeng X9, and many, many others. As a result, they've had to finally, frankly, innovate by putting in a plug-in hybrid powertrain. The GL8 PHEV costs between $50,000 and $58,000 US here in the Chinese market. That PHEV powertrain makes about 292 kilowatts, or a little under 400 horsepower. No word on the pure EV range as of yet. Let's take a moment to check out the interior. We have reviewed the GL8 before, but it was a 2021 model year, the last generation. This is the first time we've been able to check out the interior of the new car. New things include this beautiful one-piece screen here, which is actually made up, of course, of two separate segments, your infotainment over here, and then your instrument cluster. Interior material qualities, actually quite nice, though there is plenty of plastic here and there. The best seat in the house, of course, however, is here in the second row, where you have these fantastic, very loungeable rear seats and a very large rear screen, which looks to be around 17 inches in width. And check this out, sliding center console. Boom, much easier to get my cup now. While we're at it, why don't we check out this, the Electra L concept car. There are two of these cars here. There's a sedan version, and then there's the one that I really love, this beautiful wagon. First of all, check out the fantastic color, and then check out some of the design cues. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some of these on future Buick production vehicles. Speaking of all new joint venture electric brands, let's talk about Honga, which is a joint venture between Honda, but also Guangqi and Dongfeng. Allow me to explain. Here in the Chinese market, international brands will often have multiple joint venture partners, local joint venture partners. In this case, Honda works with Guangqi or GAC as well as Dongfeng Motor Corporation. So that means there will be two different versions of this same SUV. So this is the Guangqi or GAC version. It's called the P7. Over there is the S7. Now that's the one that's going to be sold under the Dongfeng Honda branding. Yes, it is a little bit confusing, but ultimately it lets Honda sell more cars, so I think they're fine with it. Behind me is a third model, the Honga Ye GT, a sedan concept car that they debuted at the show. This will eventually reach production, and it will have two different versions, believe it or not. There will be a slightly tweaked design for the GAC version, and then a different one for the Dongfeng version.